Morning, everybody. You're welcome to the first daily digest of the new week. Daily digest with Jimi Disu of the new week. Okay. Right. So today is Tuesday. Of course, you know tomorrow we are going to have Debomi. We're trying to do, for tomorrow, we are trying to do what we will call the mother and child edition. It's a bit of mischief in that. Bring a mother and her daughter together, and have them on the show and watch them slug it out on various views. It should be quite interesting. So that's what we will have tomorrow. And on Thursday, I'm hunting for a good resource person for this big joke that took place in Oyo State. I call it a big joke. This so-called, I don't know, Sheriff, I don't know whether I can call it a coup attempt or just some...
No, those ones are just...
silly joke too far.
Yes, exactly.
Gone too far as it is, all the participants stand the risk of being charged with treason. And the penalty for treason, last time I checked, was death or life imprisonment pending on the discretion of the judge. It's the discretion of the judge that is going to feature in the first 30 minutes of my program today. And I have somebody who I respect so much as a lawyer. I have him on Zoom. Is he here? Do we have him yet? Sorry?
Not yet.
Okay, we're trying to do the connect. I have GT Ogunye. And we're going to look at what I would call the sentencing of Bobrisky. Sentencing of Bobrisky. Now, you see, I chose my words carefully because the truth of the matter, that you will always know GT by that cap. Long live my incoming. Long live my incoming SAN. How are you, GT? Morning. You will always know him by that cap. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook, so you can see GT's cap to authenticate his presence. So like I said, mainly we're going to look at the sentencing of Bobrisky because, as far as I'm concerned, the EFCC have done their job. I'm not inclined to a lot of the sentiments that people are expressing. Let's all keep our eyes focused on the major issue. And for me, why I said the sentencing is that the man had been charged and pleaded guilty. So, and there is what you call, does the law prescribe for 6 months jail? It does. Last time I checked. It is at the discretion of the judge to offer an option of fine or not. Morning, GT, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
It's been a while though. I haven't seen you. You haven't been writing articles in previous premium times like you used to. Are you getting tired of commenting on social issues?
No, not quite. First tougher schedule, of work, and so you have to withdraw from the public space intermittently.
Yes, to service.
Then pay attention. Yeah, exactly.
To service the high-paying clients that you have. It should shake pataki. It should shake pataki. Okay, so.
Ororo wa oni gbe iye fun wa na de ni gbe.
Abi. Okay, so let's look at the Bobrisky trial, or should we use his name? His name Idris Okuneye, who of course now has pronounced himself a man, so that takes care of that. Did you think that he got a fair deal in the courts? By your own thinking, and by your being a lawyer, do you think he got a fair deal, in his sentencing?
Yes. Without hesitation, I would say that he got a fair deal.
Okay.
But even that deal could be fairer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That deal could be fairer.
Well, what do you mean by
he got
that?
a fair deal. What I mean? What I mean is that here was someone who, according to the reports issued by the FCC, was invited to come to the FCC.
Yes.
So he didn't rule. It wasn't a flight risk. He came voluntarily upon being invited. He was confronted with the allegation made against him, he confessed, wrote a statement under caution. Perhaps he was advised by a lawyer. I believe that he was advised by a lawyer. In any case, the protocols will not allow you to be interviewed at the FCC without a lawyer being by your side. That's what the Administration of Criminal Justice provides. The police still breach this by driving lawyer out. So he was advised by a lawyer and he voluntarily confessed. After that, he was charged to court and he chose to plead guilty, thereby saving precious prosecutorial resources and time. So the thing was not out. And so he was convicted of the offense and the sentencing was reserved. By reserving a sentence, a judge, a judex, wants to sit back and have a reflection. It's not just about time constraint, so that the judex doesn't give what we call a bench ruling, meaning just as that is done, it then gives a ruling instantly. Now, so I think that the judge reflected on this and then returned that verdict. Now, that verdict is provided by Section 21 of CBN Act 1987, which is a section that prohibits all sorts of abuse of the naira, including hawking, squeezing, defacing it by writing on it, stamping on it, and all kind of abuses, of the naira. And it provides for 6 months imprisonment or 50,000 fine or both. So the judge, therefore, did have a sentencing discretion when he sentenced him. Now, the judicial policy and criminal law justice administration policy is to decongest the prison. And you recall that recently, the state even went as far as paying the fines of a number of prisoners just to decongest the prison. Prisoners that fell in the category of committing simple offenses, minor offenses, but who have been jailed, given option of fines, but who could not pay. So the state, volunteered to pay, although it was a state private sector participation, so we were told by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And on that occasion, the number of them were released. So the policy of the state is to ensure that the prisons are decongested as much as possible, and those who have not committed violent and very terrible offenses are given non-custodial punishment. That's why the Administration of Criminal Justice Act that was made in 2015, that has become very popular, has a lot of creative and innovative provisions, including probation, suspended sentence, community service sentence, etc., etc. Meaning that since that is the procedural law that is applied in criminal justice administration at the federal level, including the Federal High Court, and that law is also the law that is used by the EFCC, the court will have resorted to that. So, as it were, as egregious as that conduct of abusing the naira was, to reward the criminal defendant who had been convicted of the offense, who didn't waste the time of the court, who didn't waste precious adjudicatory time, because if he had said he wasn't guilty and the trial had been drawn out, all sorts of witnesses would have been summoned to court. The musician, perhaps, who was singing, where he was praying money, will have been summoned to court. All the Nollywood people will have been summoned to court, and that will have been drawn out. So, courts have a way of rewarding that quote and unquote good courtroom behavior, good defense behavior by the criminal defender, and the court will have done this. But all the same, the judge had a discretion, and the judge must have exercised his discretion judicially and judiciously, as lawyers will say. The judge felt that verdict be returned without an option of fine to serve a lesson. 50,000, somebody that was praying perhaps 1 million, 2 million naira.
Exactly.
50,000, you will just go to his bank and drop it, and the optics will not be fine.
Yes.
I know that the mantra is that let justice be done, even though the heavens fall. The judge is not supposed to pander to the feelings of public, but all the same, if you had a situation whereby, just like a former governor of a South state who engaged in plea bargaining with the EFCC, and he pleaded. When he pleaded and he was convicted, he just went to the back of Mercedes Benz car, on that occasion. Many years ago, people have forgot this, and just brought out the money, 1 point something million, and then gave it out and went home, and people are wondering what had happened. Whereas the charge was that billions of naira, had been stolen and so on and so forth. I also recall a judge, Justice Talba, in Abuja, who also, gave a ridiculous sentence because he said that he had a sentencing discretion, and the matter went on appeal, and that decision was reversed. So the judge acted in accordance with the law, and
so we can comfortably say that the discretion of the judge is noted and is not any form of aberration, if I may use that.
No. It's in conformity with
because the judge had said that. I can't quote the judge verbally, but had implied that he wants he or she, I can't remember, wants to make a lesson out of him.
Even if it's a she, we always call them a he.
We call the judge a he.
Because you know this because of your pedigree.
But I'm not supposed to know. I know there's a he or she issue in this matter.
In this matter, but for the judge, it's always a he.
It's always a he, okay?
Yes.
So why I say this is important is because I'm a bit worried about the way people have been reacting to the case in itself. Some people have said it's a witch hunt. I don't believe so. I don't believe it's a witch hunt. Some people are saying, why hasn't it happened to others? Nowhere in the world is everybody chased after for a crime. Sometimes you pick your choices. You can't chase after everybody. You pick your choices to make examples out of certain persons. People also don't understand that, like I said, this one is non-legal. Loads of people had been worried about the development of this gentleman. Last week in Vanguard, it was reported that the police had to arrest certain persons who were raping men, young gangs who were raping men. And I've heard that the various bad behavior of cults and this and that is a source of worry to the state. And like the example I used was the example, for example, of Al Capone, the mafia boss back in the day. After shooting, being involved in all kinds of murders, but nobody could pin on him, was reined in with tax evasion. And from there, they were able to. So I said that there's a wider whatever to it, but even if you're going to stick to the case, I agree completely with the judge. And you have just hinted at it. He would have just dropped the 50K and walked elegantly out of the court, and then the whole sense had been would have been negated. Can he appeal the sentence, though?
I've read some opinions in social media and in mainstream media now, talking about the possibility of
appeal.
That the judge didn't reward his good conduct, quote and unquote, by pleading guilty and all that, and saving precious judicial time and prosecutorial resources. Yeah. Now, is there a real likelihood of success if you were to appeal? I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so. People just say things on the spur of the moment, but some of them are not lawyers. They are not cases and judicial authorities informed.
Yeah.
When the lawyer speaks, He speaks from the wealth of his knowledge of the law. Those are the things that he keeps at the back of his mind when he is speaking. Now, this is like a consent judgment.
Yes.
This is like somebody coming to and saying that I accept this judgment. In civil proceedings, if there's a consent judgment, it's not appealable. You can only appeal with the leave of the court. And even if you are appealing with the leave of the court, you have consented the judgment, you are a defendant, and you come to court and submit to judgment and say that you accept, impose this judgment on us, and the judge did so, and then you want to appeal. You can appeal. It's not appealable, except, you appeal with the leave of the court. And to appeal with the leave of the court, which is called permission of the court, you have to demonstrate, for example, that judgment was procured by fraud. You didn't know what you were doing.
Okay.
So it's a very tough, it's a tall order, so to speak. So in criminal proceedings, if a criminal defendant, pleaded guilty and was accordingly convicted of the offense and sentenced, it's like a consent, judgment. And in any case, even if it could not be likely to read, what is it going to demonstrate on appeal? What is going to be the grounds of his appeal? What will he be seeking? That the judge didn't convict him properly. Hey, the section provides 50,000 naira as a fine or 6 months imprisonment. The warden didn't leave a margin. He didn't leave an elasticity. In other words, you didn't have some provisions are worded this way: a maximum of 6 months imprisonment. Meaning that you can send the person to 1 day, 2 days, and also you have a statutory minimum and a statutory maximum. This one didn't say so. It provides 6 months imprisonment. So the judge couldn't dance much, even if he wanted to reward his good conduct that I've alluded to earlier.
Okay, it's nice.
So the possibility of appeal is just for
okay.
those who want to.
It's 9:23 GT, and this is where I have to take a break to pay my bill. So you can also get some. By the way, this morning I read in my analysis that we should stop drinking very cold water, what we call ice water. So let me also, just this morning, we thank Mr. Sheriff. He's the one who has put emphasis on these health matters every Tuesday. So I have heard and I have told you, my friend, ice water. Don't go and eat amala gbegiri ogufe meri and then top it up with a bottle of ice water.
That's water. The fat will just congeal.
We just congeal. Okay, so we are going to take a short break. When we come back, I'll continue with GT. In the interim, GT, one of the things I'm going to ask you when we come back is that could there have been some form of plea bargaining in all this? Those who are berries in law were thinking that maybe could there have been some arrangement. He then confessed and he turned against him. If you're used to books or movies, you remember The Other Side of Midnight, where something like that happened. So when we come back, we'll do that. Of course, we'll take your calls and reactions. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Dem say health na wealth, but when person dey arrange im health, come lose one hand, one leg. Abi na when you dey hospital, dem come tell you say you must drop heavy money first before dem even think of to begin any treatment.
But when Avon HMO tanda gidigba with you, you no go dey shout yekpa, cause last na all of us need people. Visit avonhealthcare.com now to get Avon Health Plan for you and your people.
Avon HMO, empowering you to live a healthier, fuller life.
I, Larry, do promise to take this tear rubber SUV with with a V8 engine and 0 mileage. To be my baby. To drive from this day forward. And full tank and fuel scarcity. To love and cherish. And protect it with a Leadway Motor Insurance. If you love your car, show it. Visit auto.leadway.com to get your motor insurance in 2 minutes. Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no lie relaxer kit. I get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I know deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
So, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair, be beautiful.
When long throat don't make you chop as belleful, waka quick back to nature like our old mama and papa demo. Now the bitter with their food bitter, they wake up mouth and stomach to begin work on top the food to waka seredi where.
Yo bitters they clean body inside out. If body no get dirty, the immune system go work well. Yo bitters they buy waist pain, constipation, and it gets correct vitamins them to make body they gym. Yo bitters.
Yo bitters available in supermarkets and pharmacy stores nationwide.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello? Do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks were clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness. Is it when it is cooked with no seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Attention, Lagos! Get ready for the ultimate celebration at the Family Fun Fiesta edition of the Run for the Future Marathon. On the 27th of April 2024, join us at the Muriel Kuala Park in Victoria Island for a day packed with excitement, fitness, and family fun. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just want to join in the fun, this event is for everyone. Plus, it's ARM's 30th anniversary. So what are you waiting for? Register now at rftf.arm.com.ng. That's rftf.arm.com.ng. ARM, invested in your tomorrow.
Thanks for calling Bastion HMO.
Since I signed up with Bastion HMO, I don't worry about hospital bills. I get access to top quality healthcare and still save enough for other things. They even help me pre-book my doctor's appointments. Bastion HMO also gives me access to over 1,700 hospitals and clinics with the freedom to switch whenever. I feel so in control of my finances and health.
Call 0800 Bastion or visit www.bastionhmo.com to purchase a plan that suits your needs. Bastion Health, the HMO that puts you in control.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, you're welcome back to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. And I still have GT Ogunye online, and we're just reviewing the Bobrisky sentencing, as it were, because I want to concern GT with the legal sides. I don't. The other sides will tackle after my discussion with him. On the final note, GT, I just wanted to. I hope you're there. Yes, I can see the cap.
Yes, I'm here.
The cap. Your cap always speaks for yourself. You know, it's appearing on the screen. So, on the final note, some people who believe that for him to have said he was guilty, did he really have an option? If what I would call viable option, could he have stretched it to say I wasn't guilty? That he wasn't guilty, in which case the trial could stretch on for 6 months to 1 year, and so on and so forth, and all kinds of things can happen. Do you think Do you think he was given certain assurances? That's why he must have said that he was guilty. It's possible that the 50,000 was in his pocket.
Let me say this. We have to avoid speculation and proceed on the basis of what we know and the information that is available out there and analyze it. The first thing I want to say is that, look, the criminal defendant has a right to plead guilty, not guilty. He can even remain silent or plead to the charge and all that. So we have a number of pleas. So he had an option to plead not guilty and to take his chances by mounting a strong defense. The presumption of innocence until proven guilty was still in his favor, and this is a constitutional right.
Yes.
The second issue is that to those who might think that there was a plea bargaining deal or a plea bargain deal, now in the court proceedings, no plea arrangement was mentioned.
Okay.
If a criminal defendant and a prosecution agency like the FCC wanted to engage in a plea bargain arrangement, it's not a hush-hush matter. It will be written. There will be a plea agreement that will be filed in court.
Okay.
And the court will have to reference it and adopt it in sentencing. Once the court asked the party if they truly were in agreement and that the criminal defendant in particular agreed with the plea agreement. That's what the provisions say in the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and the Administration of Criminal Justice Law in Lagos State. So it's not a hidden thing. So the fact that there was no mention of a plea arrangement in courts should presuppose, or we should presume, that there was no plea deal. Now, without a formal plea deal, could there have been an encouragement?
Yes.
By the prosecution, informally.
Yes.
But very potent, in its assurances. Would there have been an arrangement that, look, there is a tape and all that, so plead guilty. For example, people noted, and I noted it too, that whereas Idris Okune had been charged to court on a 6-count charge, some containing, the last two, I believe, were money laundering charges.
Yes.
The money laundering charges were dropped in court.
Yes.
And so the EFCC focused only on this abuse of the Naira note. So was that the carrot that was thrown to him that, look, we'll charge you for money laundering? And, because we could sustain that charge against you. Again, prosecutors also do this. And there are prosecutorial directives and guidelines, that frown at that practice. The practice of overcharging so as to put pressure on the criminal defendant to plead guilty, in a plea arrangement. So we do not know whether this was the scenario because we had no information to that effect. The EFCC will not say that there was a plea bargain arrangement, formally or informally, or that there was a pressure on him to plead guilty so that the money laundering charges could be dropped. Okune himself will not say. At least his publicist or lawyer has not to say that that was. So we therefore presume that that didn't happen either.
Okay, GT, we thank you so much. We'll let you go. All your money clients, I'm sure, will be knocking your door now, asking asking for action for all the big monies they've given. Don't worry, the NRS, they don't work on Tuesday morning.
This is a public space. You don't talk about big money. It is big money that makes of you to have 5 million followers or 10 million followers. Nobody's following them there now.
Okay, GT, thank you very, very much. That was GT Ogunye. I thought that to bring him in and talk about the legal side of all this. We're going to open up our lines now for you to express yourselves. Now let's be careful. Let's also be sensitive about the gentleman himself. Whatever you might think about him. Let me background you with some of my knowledge. Or some of my, I know that in Lagos, quite a number of people have been worried about this gentleman. That much I know. Indeed, I have it on authority, I'm saying for the umpteenth time, that even the Commissioner of Police was very worried about juvenile crime, where you have a lot of these young people getting involved in crime, in cultism, in this bad, just general, what you would call deviant behavior. And I'm inclined to believe that there was a nexus between reining him in and also the raid that caught certain persons last week. I know that I'm sure that there's a strong move to stem the tide in that area. Now, also, between the time he was arrested and the time he was brought to court and sentenced and so on and so forth, I don't want to imagine the kind of pressure that would have been brought on both the EFCC and the possibly, let me just use possibly, the judiciary. I'm one who has been very worried about it. I'm not going to shy away from that. I don't like deviant behavior. I can't stand it. It hasn't done any society any good. And the criticisms about the EFCC to me were neither here nor there. They have the right to arrest. They have done so. They can't arrest everybody. Nobody in the world, nobody, I don't mean nobody, but nobody in the world enforces law that will capture everybody. What you do is you look for certain persons you can use as an example. Let's be mature about these things and stop being unduly sentimental. Okay, for us to keep our society together, part of the degenerate ideas is what has taken a joke too far that has happened now in your state. People could have died. It could have been anybody. It could have happened in Lagos. They could have come in here. Anything could happen. So we need to let these bodies that we have do. Of course, there are biases everywhere. We always talk about biases when our own people are not involved. Why do you pick your phone every time you have a problem in Nigeria? Then you ask, who led them? They say you led by a CP. You call an AIG. Who led them? Led by an AIG. You call the DIG, It's all... I believe that sometimes we need... And the EFCC should stop making statements. The statement they made is completely unnecessary. You've done your job. You've done your job. Move on. You've done your job. And the primary essence of the EFCC, in any case, is not to arrest people, to go after people who are spraying money in the Far East or in the Far North or whatever. No. Sometimes what you do is you cut your losses. You pick one or two people you can make an example of. Now, I was glad to see that they call him, is it James Brown or whatever, one of them. He has changed his wardrobe. Oti Doc on Ekpada. Yes. The talk in town is that people are now seeing that because the impression, you give an impression you are untouchable, you do things that are against the norms of our culture and our society, nobody's going to let you go haywire all the way to the end. I hope he has learned his lesson. And I keep telling them, the Bobriskys, the Naira Marley, all of them, that there is a limit. I remember Fela's case. Fela's case was the way it was because it was Fela Kuti. And it was almost being resolved, like I heard, at the airport, but somebody had secretly put a call through to Supreme Headquarters and they said, those are the examples we're looking for. I remember that time during Buhari and Idi Agbon, they were on the lookout. There's a certain person that's close to me that, as soon as they approached him and told him there was money in his pocket, he just said that, my countryman, he told the customs, my countryman, take anything you find there. Don't leave something for me to take a taxi home. They were on the lookout. And I've always said that once there is a law, one of the best ways to tackle this crime, whatever, is to look for notable people that you can use as an example. Now, I don't think anybody is going to be spraying money at any party this weekend. It's very unlikely. How do you give the... And you see, this is where it's a catch-22 situation. People spray not because they like the musician. They spray so that people can see them.
Yeah.
And it's become ridiculous. There's a video of somebody who took a suitcase, portmanteau. He took it on top of the stage. One of these days, somebody will come. You know, Sheriff, there's a difference between a portmanteau and bembe. Because people no longer travel by sea. When I was coming home with my parents from the UK by MV Apapa or something like that, we have this suitcase, they're big, fat. People one day will carry that on stage. Look at Anoba, who made a chain out of money.
I was going to mention that actually. Shouldn't that be an abuse of the naira?
It's abuse of the naira. He was suspended. Is it only the Oba? What about those who carry bundles?
Yeah.
Bundles of cash. Are we crazy? Now, you talk about these things. That's why I say Nigerians don't think. In the UK last weekend, with that, I don't know whether he's a pastor or an entertainer. Bobrisky. Come and see Nigerians throwing money in the UK. Throwing money, being recorded on video. Throwing money.
Yeah.
But this morning, the tax authorities would have called them. We don't think. Bobrisky or whatever. And nobody has briefed him.
In Bobrisky
Bahose. Nobody has briefed him that this country you're going, they have certain laws. All this, I have a Metrose power. I have Lokoto power. I have this and that. There are some words you can't use in public.
The man is nobody should touch him.
There are some words. I think somebody was typing something on a flight one day, and he was joking. I'm going to kill them all, maybe by his dressing or whatever. They were waiting for him by the time he came down for the plane. You use this sentence. Can you explain it? Nobody has briefed the Bobrisky. It's all this can be fun here, but let us also pay attention to the laws that rule us. So I'm going to open up our lines. 0700 is not working.
It's not back yet.
So 0201 465 7190. We will call this number a risky number. It is neither male nor female. It is as you like it. So if you call it as a male, it is a male number. If you call it as a female, it is a female number. But I will call it a risky number. 0201 465 7190.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning.
And Mr. Jimi Disu, good morning, and Sheriff Kwade, good morning.
Morning.
I have learned something from the case, this Bobrisky case.
Yes.
And all I learned there is not to castigate him or to talk any evil or whatever happened. But I have learned something that when government want to make a statement, they use those notable the celebrities to make their statement. Even those who can, when people see that these things have been done, you learn from it. So the message has been passed, and I believe he has learned his lesson. All these others who also who have witnessed what has happened too, who have also learned their lesson. So I'm not in the class of those who will come and say, Bobrisky, why did they use him, or why did the EFCA, why didn't they arrest others? No, I have learned my lesson from that, and I don't think I can go that route again. Thank you. God bless you, Mr. Chief.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, for you to realize that, like Yoruba people would say, there are so many ways to skin a cat. If government sees that there's a need to rein you in, and they can't go through one legal route, they'll go through another one. And once they go through the legal routes, you better be thanking your God, because governments have the power. They have the power to actually execute you if you're a security threat. If you don't believe, even the world's greatest democracy, did they kill Bin Laden, took his body and buried it at sea? You need to get real. My fight for everybody is for you to be conscious of what you're doing at all times, and don't live in a fool's paradise. Look at what happened. We will deal with that on Thursday. somebody is ensconced comfortably somewhere in Europe, probably a citizen of that country. Maybe there's something gone wrong upstairs, only God knows. And then you now don a camouflage uniform. You go, about 40 of you, to secretariat that you want to take. Is that how to take? Is that how to take? They say on the streets, they say, Otulonji Yarare. Somebody must have even collected money for that small event. And you didn't even stop to think. One of them is a lecturer. He's saying, I have no regrets. Is it when they line him up in front of a firing squad, you will know whether he still has regrets or not? Even if, let us even assume that you took over the secretariat, you were able to overpower those who are there. Would you still have been there till today? Let us even assume. Then you come and read one speech. So we should sit back whilst you make yourself our own leader. I don't get it. Why should we go with you? And that's because, who will translate this thing for me now?
Let's try.
That's because this copy habit, where she lets inside. How do you translate one where she lets inside? You're using somebody's horse to run. No, the truth is that when you see things happening with other people, you need to be very careful. You don't know what are going. All this nation and this and that nation started when we started treating the Niger Delta people with kid gloves, and everybody believes that the more advanced behavior that you show, the better you might be compensated. That's what it all is. It's looking for relevance, and because of lack of education, exposure, lack of deep thinking, they went on this mission. I don't know how the government is going to handle this, but the case, when you have a case, you call someone, you say it's a suitcase or it's a briefcase. This one is not a case. So the case against them is exactly what I called it yesterday. It's Bembe. It's big, a very big case, because you are talking treason. Do you think if any of them knew that the penalty for what they are doing could be death, they would have done so? And one thing I will tell you is this: I suspect there could be, not that there will be, there could be pressure on the government to make sure that the full wrath of the law is brought down on these people. Wrong action, wrong timing. Let's pick another call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Godwin, calling you from Songwater.
Yes.
Please, Uncle Jimmy, about the Naira mishandling. Let me just say, is there any agency to make an awareness of this Naira abuse? Because sometimes I think, as you have said it rightly on radio, that you cannot arrest everybody, but one to take somebody to show an example is not possible. Because sometimes I look at it is not just only going to the party and throw money, it's the abuse of the money. What about our mothers and fathers, the market women and men that are squeezing money? When you go to the market, you see how they squeeze this our naira into their safe in their bottom.
Yes.
You wonder, why is this so?
Okay.
So if the agencies are available, they will all tell these people to know how to keep money. The security agents too, at the road checking points.
Okay,
if you look at them passing by, they squeeze money into their money abuse too.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me address that very quickly. There is no agency, but surely you don't need an agency to know how to behave well. Unfortunately, all the other bodies we have, the elders are not setting good example, and religious leaders are 50 times worse. You understand? Am I going to take my hard-earned money and throw it up at some drummer just because he called my name? If he called my name, what has that done to me? We don't stop to think. And there's so many means, there's so many ways of making fake or making illegal money. And I can assure you that it's very unlikely that anybody is going to arrest a market woman who is squeezing money, trying to keep it in her underwear or whatever. They might just correct them. I think the bigger problem is these ones who are throwing money. Look at, you did have to have seen them on the video in London yesterday, throwing money at. I said, these people, they're going to be saying, what's happening, Jane? These people are loonies. I got to go. Sheriff, thank you very much for standing in for these people. I'll be back here tomorrow, Wednesday. We will try as much as possible to do the mother and child, because somehow it looks as if the two of them might not be available here. We might want to do one by Zoom. But I want the two of them here so that when the mother is pointing finger, I say, Ben will keep quiet. Don't talk like the child is over 18. The child is 20. The mother, of course, is whatever. I just felt like having a bit of excitement. And by the way, this month's Amala is still intact. Sheriff, we are going together. Me, you, Kofi Battles, Kelvin, and Pastor Ladipo.
Wow.
5 of us.
Wow.
I'm not providing transport.
What?
Yes.
How are we supposed to get there?
I will give you the address. He has an address. If I not only does he have an address, he has a bus stop. but it should be nice. We just said, okay, we have one more person, so Iletiku. All right, so I'll see you all tomorrow at 9, God willing. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yes, sir.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria.